Hey guys, Maddie here from the Black, helping you to create emotional and physical well-being here. And here is this is another kind of like covering an article review because I'm looking at some stuff to do. Now I haven't posted anything lately, but I typed into Google, the controversial parenting topics, and I wanted to go over this. And I mean, originally I typed in to see, what's going on lately in the news so much with celebrities by chance, what's going on. And instead of that, I got topics about parenting, and it does relate to my channel and what I talk about because again, I'm all about how people heal from their wounds, emotional wounds they have with their parents, how to overcome that, heal, move on, and become who they are. And this article talks about I think it's like 17 or so parenting topics that are controversial, and it's interesting to see. And maybe you were raised one of these, and maybe it did cause some conflict between you and your mother or father or whatever it was. But some of these are quite interesting. So I'm not going to go over this in too much detail. As far as it goes, some of these are interesting. Others are like I've never heard of. Some of these are very stupid. Picture not showing you about how to give birth. I've heard about this one that there's apparently some women who opt to go with the raw birth, basically where they won't take any medications because there's I don't know if there's most research, but any drugs that you inject your body while giving birth affects the baby, which makes sense. Some opt not to do that. Others are like, fuck that. I want the drugs. I want to feel no pain during birth, and they'll do that. So some will go natural, organic, and don't do that. Others of them will want the drugs. So who knows? Yelling, screaming at kids. Okay, this one I feel should be controversial because there are some kids in this world who need to be yelled, screamed at, and I would say beat. My parents yelled, screamed at me growing up, and I'm okay. I'm not like traumatized, but this is ridiculous. It's funny. There are some parenting styles that say you should never yell at your kids. Fuck that. Your kids need to know there's a limit to what they can do to you. And this one's really stupid. Months versus years. It says here that some will only refer the child as 36 months old instead of 3 years old, which is stupid. Like, I don't know. Maybe some of your parents are real petty, and and their pettiness started with them referring to you as your age in months instead of hey. Instead of saying you're 3 years old, they're like, no, he's 33. My child's 36 months. Like, whatever. This I feel is absolutely retarded. Is a disservice to our children. No winning competition because that's the way. This is not the way life works. Life does not work based off of everyone's a winner because guess what? When you go out in the world, you're going to make sales, trying to get jobs, trying to get promotions, trying to make a name for yourself. You're not going to win every single time. You're going to lose. Things happen. People get promoted over. There's racism, all types of shit. So the whole thing about I remember this started when I'm only 33, so I remember being in soccer and they wouldn't keep score, but we all did anyway. And they need to because you're teaching children, oh, you're going to win no matter what. No, because when you grow up and get into the real world, like you apply to colleges or like I said, applying for jobs, starting a business, you're not going to win a single time. It's the way life works. So this is just stupid. Like competition is not unhealthy. It's like needed, but to say that like, oh, we're gonna take it out is stupid. Sleeping arrangements. This is something this is ridiculous. This is something I've experienced when my father on his second wife would let her younger son move creep in and sleep he would creep in like late at night or early morning, sleep in the bed with him, which I think is ridiculous. And this one, it's like, look, at some point, I would say this on the very beginning, when you have a newborn, keep them in the same room, but as they get older, move them to a different room because again, you gotta establish limits with children and let them know that like at some point they have to be on their own and independent. You can't hamper their growth or stop it because they'll never grow up and survive in the world. Like they have to learn how to do stuff on their own and do things. Child leashes. Hey, if your child's out of hand and need a leash, I say use it. Shit. If not, beat you get if you have to. I will say that. This is ridiculous. Gender neutrality because they're like, oh, let my child choose their gender identity. Guess what? If your child comes as a boy, he's a boy. If your child comes as a girl, as a girl. If your child will know who the fuck they are as they go through life. They'll know it. I think this is kind of dumb, and this is a stupid one, but you need to not be like, oh, I'm not gonna name him. I'm like, no. If they're a boy, they're a boy. It's a girl, they're a girl. When I have a child, I'm like, oh, it's a boy. And then at some point, as he grows up, I'm like, hey, you're a boy. But he's like, Dad, I don't feel that way. I'm like, fine, how do you feel? But at some point, your child is gonna choose on their own when they get older. But this is so dumb. Like, some people, this is, I don't know what's going on in the country, man, but maybe the parents like this. Who knows? Breast milk versus formula. I'm going to say this. I've done a lot of research into health and things. Breast milk is way better than formula. Formula is chemicals. Breast milk is what the body produces naturally. It's the way nature intended. It's what's good for you. Breastfeed your child. Formula, yeah, but giving us chemicals that are synthetic, does it work? Sure, but is it good for the long term where you can truly grow to your potential and develop fully? It's not. Nature has its own mix of stuff, which you all been denied. So this is kind of controversial, but honestly, it's breast milk is the way it was done for so many years before formula came along, and like it's the way nature intended. I think we as a species we are disconnected from nature and don't know what's going on. Like we need to have that connection to nature again. Ooh, this is a good one too. Yeah, medicating for illnesses. I know some of my subscribers read this. You're probably giving a lot of fucking pills and shit, which is not healthy for you. We don't need medications for all sorts of diseases and things, mental illnesses. A lot of it comes down to just nutrition and getting back, like I said, returning to nature. You know, in ADD and ADHD is a made up condition. It's not real. It just means that like you do better when you're moving and jumping around. That's how you focus. That's it. That's how you can learn. You know, you're not a person who needs to sit still and, you know, like you can focus better when you're doing multiple things. Like for you, growing up in school and having to sit still and focus and not do anything and be quiet didn't work for you. I'm not like that. I need quietness and focus where I can put in work so I can do work. Some people like it. So, and then they give these drugs, which these drugs that they give you only are designed to control the symptoms and create other symptoms, put you on another drug, and then that drug cures those symptoms, which creates more symptoms, put you on another drug. You see the vicious cycle there. So yeah, you don't need, ADHD is not a bad thing. It just means your child can learn better when they're actively moving around and they focus. That's all it is. Smacking versus peaceful parenting. Let's see here. Yeah, I'm just going to say I got spanked and I turned out fine. Don't abuse your children, but I definitely feel like some kids need to be beat. And the kids are never hit. Oh, you can tell. Giving solids to your baby. This is different. When you bring up this topic, you'll find yourself surrounded by questions like, when do I wean my baby? Should I wait 6 months? Mark it one early? However, the sad part is that this seemingly innocuous activity is really packed full of controversies. Really, this is ridiculous. Like, oh my god. Yeah, extended breastfeeding. This one, I feel like breastfeeding should stop at like after like, I don't know, a year and a half. But like these women that breastfeed their kids at like 3, 4, 5 years old. Yeah, no. Yeah, 4-year-old kids. Like this is, yeah. Some believe breastfeeding past babyhood could be detrimental to a child's sense of independence, and that's true. Yeah, to at least age 1. After that, like let it go. Like this is ridiculous. Baby wearing. What is this one? Baby wearing has become a huge sensation in North America, but has always been a common occurrence in most other corners of the globe. There are different ways to baby wear and to gadgets out there that can help you wear your baby. For those who are truly invested, knowledge is power, and they want parents to know the proper practices to baby wearing naturally. Okay. I guess is when you're having a baby, like a little baby backpack. I see nothing wrong with that. Like it's good. It helps you out. So. Rice cereal versus oatmeal cereal. Some parents think rice cereal contains no nutritional value, as far as going so far as to say they're tossed and overprocessed. Rice can be used as a filler for some foodstuffs, but in baby cereal, the rice is more than just an extra product to consume because they're fortified with iron, which can be lacking from breast milk in later months after breastfeeding continues. While it's okay to skip cereals altogether, at one point they're considered an essential part of feeding babies in the early days. I don't know. Never heard about this one. Let me know what your thoughts are about this. Number 4, electronics for kids. This is a big idea, a big deal nowadays. You have to. I don't think there's anything wrong with giving electronics. I remember growing up when I was days of Super Nintendo, and I was playing for hours, and my parents didn't like it, so they came up with what was called Nintendo time, which I hated it. My mom did, where I had to read books to earn hours, and depending on like the length of the book, how many pages, I had to earn like half hour, an hour. And so I hated it, and I see why it's a good thing. So in this case, my opinion is you got to limit time on electronics and gadgets. You need to be out and socialize, but you also need like, sensors or ways to protect them from online predators. So this is a good one. Some parents let their kids go on and on for hours. I have to limit it until they get older when they're active doing other stuff besides being on like nowadays their phone and Nintendo 3DS. So it's crazy, So spoiling your kids. This is, I feel like, an obvious one, but it's not apparently. It's when you don't say no to your child and give in to them, that's when they grow up with a fucked up view of the world and they're unhappy and bratty, and then they're never happy. So, yeah, some parents believe in working hard to earn things, but if you want to give your child a toy just because, then go ahead. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with being generous. Just make sure you're not giving into whining and crying when you already said no. And this I agree with, because that will create problem behavior. Even if you do, that's still not spoiling your children. Yeah, I feel like there's a very clear line with spoiling your children. You should not be just giving into them what their needs and desires. Like, gotta have rules. My parents didn't spoil us. I'm glad they didn't. Ooh, religious children. Ooh, this is a big one. Yeah, where you're devout Catholic or go to temple every week. Others may judge you because you're passing your religious beliefs on your children. Some parents and people believe that raising your kids to believe in higher power is forced to dogma on the children who can't think for themselves. People raise their children without spirituality because they want their children to think freely about whether they want to believe in anything or not. On the other side of the fence, some studies find that as children turn into teens, those who raised with religion progress led problems and have higher self-esteem than their peers who are raised without spiritual doctrine. I don't believe that shit. But at the end of the day, if you're devout Catholic or Christian or Muslim or whatever, like, you're gonna raise your children like that. That's the logical conclusion. So I see nothing wrong with doing that. And also, what if you're an atheist? Like, what do you teach your child? Like, you probably teach your child all the religions in the world and let them find themselves out too. So there's nothing wrong with that either. So this one shouldn't be controversial at all. If you're religious, you're gonna raise your kids to be like that. If you're not, you should. I feel like you tell your kids, these are what people believe in the world. You form your own opinion. Here's, So my dad didn't really force on this one. He didn't really force. My parents didn't force anything on us. They wanted us to see what was out there and come to their own conclusions. And so I'm glad they did that versus, forcing one on me, because I would have been like, I don't want to go to, because I didn't like going to church. But anyways, the link for this article is below. Like I said, I wasn't going to more detail. Look over this. Which ones can you relate to? What do you think about this? Comment below. Love y'all. And also, everybody, if you're watching this, you want to get healthier, to make the bridge to this. What me and my team are doing, we're starting some challenges with cleansing, and if anyone wants to have more vibrant health, the link below is a link below where you can book a call with me. Because if you have the right nutrition, physically coming in, it helps healing everything else in your life that much easier. Like emotional healing, physically, mentally, because you're getting the right nutrients, your body can process stuff. So click the link below to book a call. We'll talk more about it. On that, my friends, get in the black. Love y'all. Please subscribe. Peace.